Hey guys, it's Candy. Welcome back. I feel like it's been forever since I've made a book video, but I thought it would be fun here towards the end of the year to share with you guys all of my favorite books that I have read through 2022. So I recently got rid of a bunch of books, but I feel like I kept all the books that I really enjoyed, that especially were like 5-star reads. I haven't even pulled them off my shelves yet. I thought I would just share with you the process of me going through the piles of books that I have that I've read and determine which ones I want to share with you and why they're my favorites. Alright guys, so I actually got some books off my Goodreads account as well, books that I read on my Kindle that I want to make sure that I mention to you guys. And the first one is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This was one of my favorite books of the year, hands down. I think I really love this book because I love the trope of like past, like meeting each other in high school, falling in love, life takes you in a different direction, and then something happens later on that you reconnect, and it's just something about those types of books. Maybe because I have a soft spot in my heart for that whole storyline, because that's basically what happened to Ken and I in real life. So I just love that book. And I see it at the bookstore all the time, and I'm like, I need to buy it and add it to my shelves. Even though I've already read it, it's just forever going to be one of my favorite books. I can't talk today for some reason. Okay, Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. Jennifer Hillier is probably one of my favorite like mystery thriller authors. Her books are pretty detailed, so if you don't like the blood and guts and all that stuff, like if it makes you a little queasy, I don't recommend her books. But if you like a real intense, detailed murder, all that kind of stuff, her books are amazing. And Jar of Hearts was just, there's a lot of trigger warnings in that book, I'll tell you that, so check it out if you do consider reading it. But I mean, my jaw was probably dropped through the majority of that book because it was so intense and descriptive and just unbelievable. Sally Hepworth, I really like her books too. I've read quite a few of them. I read The Good Sister, and I remember reading this one at a dance competition. Literally read it in one day. If you're a dance mom, you know, or even if you're a competitive dancer yourself or ever were in your lifetime, you know how long those days are at dance competitions, and you just sit there a lot and wait. And I read the book in an entire day, and it was crazy good. Her books are not, they're more of a thriller, not really mystery, and they're just always have these like twists that just come out of nowhere, so unexpected. And I can tell you, I've never like figured out any of her books. She's just always blown me away. Scandalized by Ivy Owens. Ivy Owens is actually Christina Lauren's two authors. Ivy Owens, I think, is Lauren. It's one of those authors. It was her pen name. She thought she was gonna like write books and kind of like hide who she is, and I don't know why somebody figured it out or something happened. She ended up telling everybody that she's Ivy Owens. Scandalized is hot, like hot tamale, 5 out of 5 on the hot out of hot scale. So good, so hot. I absolutely loved it. Could not put it down. It was just such a good book. And that brings me then to the trilogy by Ivy Owens. It starts with, nope, I'm lying. Let's try this again. It is the Friend Zone series, and it starts with The Friend Zone, which I absolutely loved so much. I'm trying to think, this might have been the first book that I read of Abby's. Could be wrong, but I'm thinking so. So good. Didn't think it could get any better. And then it got even better. This is probably one of my top 5 favorite books of the year as well. I just loved the characters in this one. Loved, loved, loved it. And then Life's Too Short. I liked it almost loved it. Wasn't as good as the other two, but still very, very good. It's hard because once you have an author that like you really like their books, it's kind of like Colleen Hoover, and then you go into her books with such high expectations. I actually recently just read Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, and I was like, it was a 4 out of 5 on the Colleen Hoover scale, but a 5 out of 5 on just normal book reading scale. It's weird how you set your expectations so high. Part of Your World by the same author. I really, really like this book. I just remember the main character's parents just being so horrible. And I loved the guy in this. He's a carpenter, and just you can visualize. Loved it. I don't know if I've read all of her books. You guys will have to comment down below. Maybe I need to look up. Maybe this is it. I know she has another one. Yeah, this is it. These are her 4 books. She has one that I've already pre-ordered that's coming out next year. And I rarely pre-order books because, like, why do you need to pre-order it? Like, you just buy it when it comes out. But I guess you just get that excited that you go ahead and pre-order it because you want to make sure you get it immediately. Okay, the first book that I read of Taylor Jenkins Reid was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And this was this is not romance, this is more of like a contemporary fiction. And it's just really, really interesting. Kind of just a very enjoyable story to read about this woman's life she's basically like a celebrity, and she has this girl who's basically like a magazine reporter help her like write the story of her life. And there's just a twist at the end that you're like, holy mother of corn. I don't know where mother of corn comes from. It's just a thing I say sometimes. It was just like, wow. So I also have read Carrie, Soto is Back. I've told you guys this before. I do not like the cover of this book at all. I don't know, don't like it. But I loved this book, and it's about this girl, Carrie Soto, who's a tennis player. I know nothing about tennis. I don't care about tennis. But this book is just so good. Just another book that I could not put down. I really liked One True Loves as well. I feel like I rated that book a 5 out of 5. But is it one of my favorites of the year? No, but I do really like it. So far, 5 out of 5 on all of the books that I read by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I just downloaded on Audible. I'm not a good Audible listener. I feel like I get so distracted, but I bought a membership and I need to use the credit, so I just downloaded Daisy Jones and the Six. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six. On Audible. I have the book as well, but it's going to be coming out in like a series or a movie or something, so I want to read it before that comes out. Another contemporary fiction that I just was blown away by this year is Mary Jane, and it's about this young girl. She ends up being like a babysitter for this little boy, and the mom and the dad and their friends are just such like interesting people, and you're viewing it from this young girl's point of view. I think she's like 13 or something, or maybe, let's see, 14. And it takes place back in the 70s, so that part's kind of cool. It's just a really good, different book. Sometimes it's fun to read something that's not so like heavy on the romance, just like a good, unique story. But I feel like those books are rarely 5 out of 5s for me. I just find that for some reason, but this one was definitely, put this one in my top 5s of the year. I just really enjoyed it. Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monahan. I really love this. I also loved how short it is. I love shorter books. If you can get me a good book that's like 275, 300 pages, that's just ideal for me. I don't know why. I feel like, especially when you make videos after you read books for like the month or whatever, I don't know why sometimes reading to me feels very like, I gotta get it done. I have to get it done. Like I must feel this pressure to finish the book in like a timely manner. I don't know, it's stupid, but that's why I really love shorter books, because you can just read it in like a day or two and it just feels so like, I don't know, I accomplished something. This one was really good. It was about this girl. Basically, she just went through a divorce. She needs extra money. This celebrity actor ends up staying at her house because she wrote the script for this like Hallmark type movie, and it's just this cute little romance book, but like an unintentional romance book. It was just so good. And I read another book. No, I did not. I'm getting my books confused. She must have another book that's coming out soon at the beginning of the year. I have not read any other books by her. Was this her first book? This might have been her first book. I think it is. I think this is her debut novel. Oh no, author of 2 young adult novels. But this is her debut adult novel. She did a great job. Love that. Catherine Center, she's wrote a crap ton of books. But this book, The Bodyguard, yeah, she's written like quite a few books. I have a couple other books by her, but I've only read this one so far. And I really like this one. It's the woman who's the bodyguard instead of the man. He's a celebrity and she's just a tough woman, doesn't put up with crap. You just fall in love with her character and you want her to find happiness in the quirkiness of their relationship, and their chemistry and stuff is just so different than most romance books. So really enjoyed that one. All right. We have Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I've read another book by him. Don't really remember it. It was years ago when I kind of was like, I'd read like maybe 1 book a month. And it was really good sci-fi. And this book is just freaking insane. These people, you like enter a box and there's like time travel, and you're reading it and you kind of almost don't even understand what you're reading half the time because it's science-y, but it was really good. I was blown away by that. I was like, holy, the imagination, intelligence of this author, amazing. Hidden Pictures, I feel like I probably shared this in my favorite thriller mystery books of the year, and then in my monthly reviews, and here we're talking about it again. This book is really good because they have this little kid in there who draws these pictures almost as like a way to communicate, and the pictures get more and more like, I mean, hello. The drawing becomes more and more intense and like really good, and so the babysitter's beginning to think that this kid is like possessed by someone else. Like, I don't know, it's so good. I really enjoyed this book. I would say Hidden Pictures might very well be my favorite thriller of the year. Love me some Jennifer Hillier, but that was really good. The Night Shift by Alex Finley. I don't know if he's written a lot of books. I'm like a repeat author type person. When I find an author that I really like, it's like, oh, they released a new book, I gotta read it. All right, he wrote Every Last Fear, so maybe I need to check that out. This one is actually about like a murder, and then like all these years later, a similar murder takes place, and then these people that survive, like, okay, a bunch of people get murdered, but one person survives. All these years later, same thing happens. A bunch of people gets murdered, except one person survives. So those 2 people find like a connection, and then they're trying to figure out, are the murders connected, and so on and so forth. And I just really enjoyed it, and it's not very long, so loved that. Fool Me Twice by Carrie Aarons. Look how short. Karli actually had seen a TikTok about this book. She showed me what it was about, and I was like, ooh, that sounds really good. And it is spicy, has very descriptive scenes. Basically, this girl, her friend dies of cancer while she was dating this boy, and he broke up with her, and the friend is on a mission to like basically seek revenge for breaking her friend's heart right before she passed away. So it's all about her like seeking revenge on this guy, but also doing a lot of other things that was on this girl's like bucket lists, like dyeing her hair, camping out in a tent, go bungee jumping, but also, again, seek revenge on this guy, and it was really good. Every Summer After by Karli Fortune. This was her debut novel, and I'm telling you, these authors are so freaking lucky when they write a book like this and it gets picked up and blown up, I should say, on TikTok, because I mean, how else do you become a well-known popular author? Imagine authors writing books before social media. It was probably really hard to go viral, so to speak. But this girl's book blew up. A lot of people were saying that this is very similar to Love in Other Words. I mean, what? Because it has two teenagers that meet when they're in high school and then their lives reconnect later on. I mean, there's got to be other books out there like this, but apparently for some people it was too similar. I'm all for it. If somebody else wants to write another book that's very similar to the same sort of layout, I'm here for it, because I loved it and I loved that book. Archer's Voice by Sheridan. She actually has some other books out that I would like to read, because this was really good. So this one was about this girl. She basically wants to get away from where she was living because some stuff happened. So she goes to this like small town in Maine, and she meets this guy, Archer, and he's kind of like this guy that no one talks to. He's like the weird guy that everybody sees out and about in town, and everybody just looks at him weird, like something is wrong with that guy, don't talk to him. And it's got a little bit of spice, a little bit of romance. It was just really good written, a very real love story. I think that best describes that. All right, my two favorite Colleen Hoover books of the year, which are also my two favorite Colleen Hoover books ever. Did I read any Colleen Hoover books prior to 2022? Maybe. I might have read Verity last year. I did really like Reminders of Him as well. Don't get me wrong, I rated that one 5 stars as well, but I feel like it's a little bit more forgettable for me. The two that are not forgettable, It Ends With Us, her most popular book. This book is just amazing. And then I recently read November 9 in November, and I just loved this book. Loved it so much. It's kind of hard to explain, and I reviewed it already in my November review, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But I think about this book every so often. It just pops into my mind of like, I like when her books are real. Like, I feel like this could really happen. This could really happen. It's probably why when I read Layla, I was like, what? No. It just seemed a little far-fetched and unrealistic to me, because it has more of like a paranormal topic to it that I just don't really buy into that kind of stuff. And you know, Verity is a lot different than her other books, but anyways, these are the ones that I've read by her so far. Verity, Confess. I really liked Confess too. That's hard to say. That's probably my third favorite. Reminders of Him, It Starts With Us, Ugly Love, and Layla. Those are the ones. Oh, and Heart Bones. I just read that one. Duh. So those are the ones that I've read so far. Eventually, I have all of her books. Eventually, I will read them all and probably have to do like a big Colleen Hoover review book. But anyways, enough of my rambling. I gave you guys a ton of book ideas to add to your list. If you haven't read any of these yet, you really, really need to read them. Comment down below, what was your favorite book that you read in 2022? Clearly, not that I need to add any more books to my bookshelves, but I always like to get other people's recommendations, and I'll check them out and see if I need to add them to my list for next year. So thank you guys so much for watching. Happy holidays. I hope you're having a great month, and I'm not posting next Sunday because it'll be Christmas, but the following Sunday will be my December wrap-up video, and then it'll be 2023. So see you guys then. Bye, guys.